In the news today, Great Bear Resources, traded under the symbol GBR in the venture, acquires the right to purchase 100% interest in the Dixie Lake Gold Project in Red Lake, Ontario. I caught up earlier with President and CEO Chris Taylor, and here were his thoughts on the news.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for the call. Much appreciate the chance to talk about the news that we got out today. I think if anybody was reading our news release from your end, they would have noticed that we'd bought out 100% interest in our Dixie Lake project, which is located in the Red Lake District of Ontario. Now, Dixie Lake, it's a project that we're very keen on, and it's very unusual in a sense for a small company like ours to get their hands on a project that has this much work done on it and has such a good list of names that have been attached to the project over the years. Dixie Lake was first drilled by Teck Resources back in the late 1980s, and at that time they hit a number of very interesting intervals in the core, like some of the ones that I could quote to you, and I'll just go into the list here of going back to say 1989. But there were several intervals in there at that time that was 2 or 3 meters of 15 odd grams. There's one that I'm looking at here, which is another historic hole. Where are we here? It's like about 10 meters of 3 grams. We've got another one here, which is basically right at surface, and this is back in the original discovery era, but that's about 4 meters of 5 grams. So these are excellent results to begin a Red Lake style project off of. And as you know, as we've emphasized in our news releases, we think that this zone, which is about 1.7 kilometers in strike length on surface, it looks like it goes down so far based on drilling past like the 450 vertical meter mark, and shows every indication of keeping on going. And in a sense, even when we've looked at the data, we see that there is a trend towards increasing thickness of the intercepts and increasing grade with the depths of the holes that we've looked at through that historic database. So what we've announced today is that we're buying out the 33% interest in the project that Newmont has owned. And Newmont effectively inherited this project from Frontier Gold back in about 2005, 2006. Frontier at that time was doing a bit of drill work on here, just testing the zone, the main zone on the project. And then they ended up getting involved with the Long Canyon project down in Nevada. Long Canyon got bought out by Newmont, and this is an asset that went along with that into Newmont's portfolio. Now, Newmont doesn't have any activity in this area. Newmont's never been involved in the project, but nonetheless, it is something that they owned 1/3 of from this legacy perspective. Now, from our point of view, when we first got involved with Dixie Lake, we managed to acquire the project itself and an option to earn a 67% interest in that from the underlying vendor, and the 33% interest was a non-carried interest from Newmont. And unusual for this area, and this is really unusual, is that there are no additional royalties on this project. So it's a gold project in Red Lake with gold mineralization from surface down to at least 450 meters vertical depth, which is wide open for extension at depth and along strike, and it has no royalties attached to it. So it's on the road, it's 20 kilometers south of Red Lake, and like I said, we've announced recently that we've got all this work that's going to be going on there in the near future. And now Great Bear has announced that we're going to acquire that remaining 33% interest from Newmont. So we're very excited by this turn of events. It looks like it's going to be a great asset for the company to build a very strong foundation off of. And it's a really unusual opportunity that way to get a land package of this size with this amount of work on it, on road, and with 100% ownership and zero royalties. So very exciting times for Great Bear.